Okay. Is peace and quiet now? People is peace and quiet now. We will do more laughing therapy and mindfulness today. Again, it's peaceful. And that's what you want when you do things like mindful therapy. Not mindful therapy, mindfulness. I want to know how people are before we do laughing therapy and mindfulness. People, I recently uploaded an update for announcement of GT6, May 26th of 2026. The Sims 5 is not coming, and The Sims 4 updates on new feature called Pack Selection. It's all over my Facebook gaming page and Instagram if people want to. If people okay, someone keeps coming to my garden and putting dog poo in my bin. No. I'm sorry, I can't give you advice. My advice is to tell someone about it. If you know the person, if it's your next door neighbour, then you can report it to your local council if your next door neighbour dog and her were in your garden, but I don't think a local council will do anything if someone put poo in your garden and bin. But all you need to do with that, to tell someone, to confront a person, that tell them not to put dog poo in my garden and not to put dog shit in my bin. No, I'd rather not, because it's not a police matter. The police only we serve and protect, so please only do something if someone in instant danger, with cuts, bruises, injury, something like that, or evidence. But the local council will only do something if you complain about a person that leaving dog shit in your garden dog shit in the bin, if it's your next door neighbour, and it's like if someone let a dog out and your next door neighbour dog were in your garden and next door neighbour were in a garden. But if a next door neighbour were in your garden, you can report it to the police because not called not loitering but trespassing. Oh, if you suffered from harassment and stalking, well, stalking is a different subject to harassment. A stalking is a bad thing, another thing to harassment. Stalking is the opposite for harassment. So if someone's stalking, harassing you, you always need to report it to a police, no matter what, because your report is helpful to a police in regardless of stalking and harassment. If someone's stalking and harassment, and if you know the name, then you will have the right to take legal action against, and they might have further action against you, legal action, and they further action. So yeah, this is all and it really. Let me tell you a story. Now, someone were harassing me in public, making sexual comments, to pretend he's gay. I think she told someone to sexual harass me, and the second boy sexual harassed me, making comments when I was on cannabis. That's why I also stopped taking cannabis. That's the reason why too. He also stalked me on social media such as Instagram. He got bullied in a group, and then the group obviously accepted him to be in a group, which don't make any sense. I think both of them are playing with each other, up their arse, up each other's asses, and making fun and talking bad about each other, which is all fun and games to me. It's all pathetic. But I will give people advice if once they join my live stream. I will wait until others join my live stream, and I will give you plenty of advice. I will give you plenty of advice of harassment, stalking, because there's support out there for harassment, stalking. I will give you plenty of advice on narcissists, because I have dealt with plenty of narcissists. One are confirmed of now I think he psychological abused his girlfriend. That's why he is a narcissist, because a narcissist is similar to psychological abuse. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, it's possible you will get psychological abuse. Psychological abuse means emotional abuse, financial abuse. Financial abuse is where you commit fraud, or if you rob someone, steal someone money. Emotional abuse is a bit like psychological abuse. Emotional abuse is basically when you get emotional if you've been abused. If you've been abused, that is emotional, and that's why it's called emotional abuse. But I will give people plenty of advices on emotional abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse, stalking, harassment, as well as narcissists. Because I don't like them things. As police announced, I'll give a little update. Now please come out my area kind of lot. It's a good thing really that they come out here a lot. It's a good thing to protect and reserve against the criminals with the community and myself. I'm pleased as that result. But as for someone who's stalking me, harassing and stalking me, and told someone to rob me and beat me up, if I do find out that person and their name, then that person and their username will get banned for my social medias. We have zero tolerance against that. What in the real world, stay in the real world, and not belong to social media platforms, not my platforms. So, if any of that in the real world, and then we use it on platforms, will get also banned. As I will treat my community fairly, I will not tolerate any criminals, any criminal activity. If a person been stalking me in real life, and that person, if I know the person and been stalking me on social medias as well, will be banned, because I do not tolerate them things at all. So guys, yes, I will give people plenty of advice on emotional abuse, psychological abuse, narcissists. Any type of abuse lead to harassment or stalking. I can give you plenty of advice and tips how to avoid. Because them kind of things you have to avoid. It's crucial to say them words on such live streams, but if people have experienced it, I have to say to members of public my community, but I don't want to face them as I'm facing, and I don't really like that subject. I will give my best advice I can. I try my best, but once if people psychological abuse, financial abuse, emotional abuse, harassment, stalking, and then harm my community, or they harm me, and they found me or my community on social medias, will be banned and timed out. I'm doing this for myself as well as my community. I will not tolerate that kind of things. That kind of things can be serious, can lead to criminal charges, criminal offences, can lead to police attention. As I also have experience of harassment, stalking, narcissism, emotional abuse and psychological abuse, and also sexual harassment, I will stop talking about this subject, but give my community better advice. But I will stop talking about it, because there's someone, if I keep talking about it, then some people might listen over here or anything and might find this conversation interesting. People are weird of being in psychological abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, harassment, stalking. People are weird, and people do need seriously help. It's like my sister boyfriend were looking out a window or doing this weird shit, and when I used to follow dogs on TikTok, I followed dogs when people driving and things, I followed them. Better autistic traits, obviously obsessional or jealous or something. Bit weird about that. It's weird. Funny enough, it's weird. 'Cause one thing I have to say, just let people be. If they are, just let people be. If they are autistic, just let people be. Don't harassment. Don't target them because based on them got autistic. That's just weird. For instance, if your brother or sister have autistic, people can really overlook on you, and they start to be obsessive, say he's smart or use charming words, and then after smart, people watching other people due to autistic. Now, doesn't sit right to me. Just let people be and just fuck off. Because you want me to tell you one thing. And that someone ages ago was saying, oh, I give you a lot of weed if you be with me. Now, that's called weird. That's called fucking their head. I'm fucked up in their head. Because someone in a relationship and saying to someone, they're not in a relationship yet, now get to know each other. Nam said, I'll get you lots of weed and things, not just weed. People also need to know that I do not tolerate drug dealers or any crime activities such as, if you want to be that person, then you can feel free to do so. This is a warning. If there's evidence of Class B substance and it was in my face or been mentioned, then you may be prosecuted. But I think some people like that. Even though this world is messed up with full of words. But people are weird of saying that word in the first place. People are weird and messed up. When people say to their girlfriends or boyfriends, I'll give you a lot of weed. Not just messed up. I don't care where you come from, what nationally you come from, but I will try my hard to prosecute the person. I think the person used these words to raise people's attention. I don't know what it is, but people are weird. As again, people, I will give people advice, plenty of advice on narcissists, financial abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse, harassment, stalking, because I had my experience, and I experienced a lot. I will not keep talking about it, but giving you lot advice. But one thing I will not talk about it, because when someone overhear you talking, it's just weird, like they got with obsession with a word. Even though that may saw you when you experience it, people are weird. And people like me will be funny off a subject because people like that are weird and messed up. And one thing I point out people, cannabis is not a plant. So after this topic, I will not discuss any cannabis substance because cannabis is legal in the UK, not in the USA. It's illegal in the UK. Same for firearms. So it's obviously people want to get caught, red-handed, or people want to get caught anyway. But cannabis is not a plant. There's two different cannabis. Cannabis doesn't cure any legal cannabis which drug dealers use. Is not related to cancer. That cannabis don't give you cancer or don't fix cancer or doesn't get rid of cancer. So there's two different cannabis. There's a legal weed and there's a prescribed. So prescribed is for doctors such as USA. Now it's okay. Now might is things like cancer cells, but cannabis I'm referring to from any drug dealers isn't resolved from getting or fix a problem if you have cancer. And that's been messed up. Numbers are messed up, but believe me, there are two different types of cannabis. Legal cannabis doesn't fix anything. It affects your emotional health, your physical health, and your mental health. So it makes your mental health worse. Thing is about legal cannabis, it doesn't come from a plant. When people say it's come from a plant, it not necessarily come from a plant. People made it not come from a plant. So there's prescribed cannabis. Prescribed cannabis is how it may fix things, but legal cannabis, which buy on the street, which is legal and a criminal offence, when cannabis is a criminal offence and classed as a criminal offence, now some sort of drug doesn't get rid of cancer, it's not a natural plant. I'm not gonna sit here debating it or have long discussion about it. There's my initially thoughts on two different types of cannabis. So, as people might say, legal cannabis is okay, it's not. It's a criminal offence, whether you're buying or selling. It's not prescribed cannabis. Prescribed cannabis is from USA that might cure cancer, but cannabis legal on the street doesn't necessarily cure cancer. But people like to twist things and like to twist a knife and play with words and make you believe in that and make words up, and they love to make words up so that you can believe it. So, again, legal cannabis is a criminal offence, and prescribed cannabis is much different. When the cannabis smell, that's mean them got things in it. That smell mean it doesn't cure cancer, it make your mental health worse. When prescribed cannabis doesn't smell, it not most likely mess with your mental health. It probably fix things like cancer cells. But end of discussion. This discussion will be terminated. But I don't think people fully understand. People want to make up stories about cannabis because they want to make fun out of cannabis. They want to make fun out of subject. They want to tell lies, misinformation, gossip and lie. Same for these drug dealers. These drug dealers lie and tell you a pack of lies. So people don't fully understand. This probably won't sink in. But when it not sinking to people, it's kind of weird because people need to. I need to say two different types that doesn't necessarily come from a plant. Doesn't cure cancer. Then make up these words because them enjoying it. Them enjoy make up a word. They enjoying the making up a word. It's like any words out there. Any word can be made up, like zodiac signs are made up. So, again, legal cannabis which on the street and which dealers and drug lords supply now doesn't necessarily grow on plants. People made it and make up fairy tale stories. It's not true, it's fake, and it's all lies. When the cannabis smell means then put something in there. Then put all chemicals in there and all the bacteria or something to get you high. When something gets you high, it messes with your mental health up, and your body sense something is not nice. And it not necessarily come from a plant, because I don't believe that. I don't believe any criminal activity or any criminal or lead to any criminal drugs. These drugs on the street are made of drug lords, which drug lords then supply to drug dealers and make it on the street. They here to want to make money and tell you a pack of lies. It's not come from a plant and it doesn't cure cancer. People tell you a pack of lies and make up a word. People just make fun out of it, and being funny a subject where people laugh or mimic or make up a word. Again, that kind of drug is a criminal activity, which I describe a criminal activity drugs, which drug lords and drug dealers apply. That subject means it doesn't cure cancer. People make it so it made up and tell you a pack of lies. It doesn't cure cancer. It doesn't do anything. Not give you any benefits. It doesn't make you live long or live less. Not gonna benefits to it. So I'm helping people to help them explain what's two different cannabis, because these drug dealers don't deserve any money from any people. That's why it's classed as criminal offence, and that's why it's classed as drugs and not prescribed. Drugs, that subject doesn't grow on trees, doesn't grow on plants, it doesn't cure cancer, and that's why it's called drugs. It's called drugs because people made the word up by using the drug as drug word, and one thing it made up why it called drugs, because they want drug lords to make it so they can pass it on to drug dealers. I've got plenty to say about this topic, because I need people to understand drugs and prescribed drugs is different. Prescribed drugs, prescription drugs like tablets or medical drugs like prescribed drugs, they're different. People made it for a reason. The reason why it's prescribed drug is because these organisations like NHS made it because they want people to be better and not worse, and these drug dealers want to make people worse and not necessarily better. And that's why drugs are different than prescribed. Because when I refer to drugs, it's weird and a weird name and title. Prescribed, that's nothing to do with me. So, this is a little bit education to you all, because it doesn't sink into people's heads. I need people to understand what's the two different types out there. Again, people, drugs which drug dealers, drug lords made, and it's made up full of words like, said, it get rid of cancer, it doesn't, not made up word. If you type on Google, that's prescribed apparently get rid of cancer, not necessarily get rid of cancer, it helps prevent it. And that's why when people have these kind of drugs, they need to grow up, because unfortunately, you want me to tell you the truth. These drugs which drug lords do and make and supply to drug dealers, now some sort of names which cure cancer is a made-up word with a fairy tale, and some people don't understand because it's kind of a bait. It's kind of a bait. Now, too many words can describe this, but I can't think of a word right now. I've got words in my head. I can't necessarily say it because all these words mean the same thing but mean a different thing. This word I'm referring to is big like a bait, is like a fairy tale. So when people take these drugs, it's a drug habit, and it will class as cannabis use syndrome if you have it more than a year. And some sort of them people are weird for doing it and saying it and for thinking of it. But some people need to have a lot of growing up to do, because it needs to sink into people's heads. What's the difference on prescribed cannabis? And what's the difference on legal cannabis? Well, GTA, you want me to tell you my story? There's a new update on GTA will explain the difference on prescribed cannabis and legal cannabis. Legal cannabis is where people make it and make up these words which ain't true, because not gonna benefits to it. It doesn't cure or make up a plant. Prescribed cannabis is different, which I believe prescribed cannabis not got no side effects to it, because it will target something that may prevent it. And that's why I need people to understand what's the difference on prescribed and what's the difference on legal. Again, legal is a criminal offence which people keep making up words and telling lies, and prescribed cannabis is not made up. Prescribed cannabis is there to help people, and legal cannabis make people worse. And that's why all these drug lords and all these dealers are fucking weird. And people say, like things like poison, drug, and if you were in a relationship with me, I'll give you plenty drugs. That's a little bit called weird and being weird. I don't understand why people saying now or thinking of that, but people are fucking weird. people got a death wish. And when people think I'm saying that, I've got no time for them. And I've got no time because I'm not wasting my energy and time and effort. I have to get on my life as well as their subject for thinking or saying it are completely weird and fucked up in their head. It's crazy now, so many weird good words out there. You have to think of a positive word, like amazing for instance, and not thinking of a stupid word, like swearing word, or curse word, or something like cannabis, or is true or whatever. Now, for example, etc. That is a negative word, and as I'm referring to drugs, drugs doesn't necessarily cure you. It's not a plant. These drug lords and drug dealers make up a word so that they want people to believe it. I don't know why people are buying it in the first place. These drug dealers think they are so clever with all them shit smears, but they obviously got threatened, intimidated by drug lords. That's why they make up these words, or they probably make up these words because they've seen it or haven't seen it before, so they made up a stupid word. So, I've got more experience. I know what's the difference on prescribed cannabis and legal cannabis. Legal cannabis is a criminal offence. It's a bad negative word. While prescribed cannabis is positive for people. It's not the same. Prescribed cannabis is not the same as legal cannabis, because legal cannabis is not made from organisation. It's just made of these dealers and drug lords. And on the other hand, it doesn't help people in the long run. Instead, it do the opposite. It make people worse. And prescribed cannabis, now for certain people with illnesses, it's not the same subject. People may think it's the same. Prescribed cannabis and legal cannabis, they may think it's the same subject. It's not the same subject. And that I describe weird. People can make fun out of it, can mock it, can make up a word, but it's not the same. The other thing why I mentioning this topic in the first place, because I want people to recognize, to realize, to understand. And when people like me haven't talked about this topic before, it doesn't sink into people. People don't get it. So people have to be careful if they use legal drugs. Legal drugs is a criminal offence. Legal drugs is not the same as prescribed cannabis. Prescribed cannabis is much different. It's from USA. Prescribed cannabis from USA, it designed to make things work, to prevent it when you have illness. It's come from doctors in USA, not come from plants. And when people say legal cannabis cure cancer and make from plants, it's a made-up word. It's a lie so that they want people to believe it. Let's take our zodiac signs for instance. Our zodiac signs are a lie. It doesn't tie to our personality. So, as I say this, I hope people understand and sink into your heads, because you now will know the difference what's prescribed cannabis and what's legal cannabis. Legal cannabis is a criminal offence and it's full of made-up words, and prescribed cannabis is different. It's not the same as legal cannabis. Hello, how are you? So, I want people to understand what I said. Prescribed cannabis is not the same as legal cannabis. Legal cannabis is a made-up word. Not gonna benefits to it. It doesn't cure cancer or anything. You may die in the long run. It take your lifespan away. Then I won't say it again. I let people understand. And I will keep saying it every day if it's necessary, because it got a stage now. People need to understand and not keep making up these words. Not keep making up these words referring to cannabis, because cannabis doesn't cure cancer, I'm afraid, or doesn't grow on plants. People made it. People made it, such as drug lords, and they supply it to drug dealers, are not necessarily grow on plants. People made it, not grow on plants. People grow it, such as cannabis farm. It's not grow on plants. And that's a mixed word of drug dealers. Drug dealers drug dealers make you think it comes from plants. It's not. You know where they come from? It comes from a cannabis farm. Which means drug dealers or drug lords made a farm. And that's why. That's my explanation. It doesn't cure cancer or it's not a natural plant. It's a made-up word. And that's why I need people to understand. It's a made-up word. When people say legal cannabis is a plant, it's not a plant, it's a cannabis farm. And cannabis farm where drug lords made it. It not cure cancer, I'm afraid. And unfortunately, it's not a plant. It's not a natural plant. So people put words in your head so that you can believe it. It's made of word. And Peter twist words around, prescribed cannabis is different than legal cannabis. Legal cannabis is where drug lords and drug dealers supply, and it's a criminal offence. It's a street drug. While prescribed cannabis is where doctors made it from USA. They made it, they organised it, they authorised it to help people to prevent such as illnesses. Prescribed cannabis and legal cannabis is not the same. It's both different words. Cannabis is the same, but prescribed cannabis, word prescribed and word legal with legal cannabis is different. So I need people to understand and sink into them heads, because legal cannabis is not good for you. It messes with your head. It's not necessarily prescribed. And one another thing, if you're paying a dealer for this drug, it's not prescribed. Prescribed is a pharmacy, and drug dealers are not from a pharmacy. It's not from any organisation. So that's them two are two words. One are made up and one are not. Prescribed cannabis are not made up. They help people to prevent illnesses like cancer. And legal cannabis is a made up word so that people believe them and telling lies. Now, two words are complete same cannabises, but different prescribed and legal. Both both cannabis in there, both the same stuff, but prescribed is different and legal is different. Where you put legal cannabis, not gonna benefits to it. It doesn't cure. It made up words. People make up words. And prescribed cannabis, it's not a made up word. It helps people, such as USA, to prevent. These drug laws and these drug dealers putting words into your head and then put things in cannabis so that for some people which are being funny and may think I made up these words, I am not. I'm telling you the truth. If you live in USA and have an illness, you can be eligible for having prescribed cannabis. You need to have all your documentations and things. And legal cannabis doesn't necessarily have the effect. Legal cannabis is a criminal offence. It's made up from cannabis farm. It doesn't cure cancer. It's not a natural plant. Cannabis is not a natural plant. People grow it, make out it's a natural plant. It's not a natural plant. You know what is a natural plant? Like eco-friendly plants. And cannabis is not eco-friendly. It's the opposite for eco-friendly. It's not eco-friendly, it's the opposite, which is bad for this planet. Again, people may think I make up these words and being funny and all shitmas and things, but prescribed cannabis is much different. Legal cannabis, put things in it to make people worse and to make people think cannabis cure things. It's not. It's not such thing. And therefore, end of this discussion now. One of the things why people say that, because they want to make you hooked on it. And that's all. But once people make you hooked, then it's become a white lie. And I don't know what's wrong with people, why they keep coming around my area and why these drug dealers are drug dealers and I'm just weird people. Not gonna benefits to it. It doesn't cure things. It makes things worse. For starters, why cannabis play with your emotions, physical health, as well as your mental health? It's not prescribed. It's man-made. Someone made it. Someone made it because they want to make people hooked on it. So, it's not prescribed. Them two words are different and not such thing. And people losing their heads for saying it. It doesn't cure cancer. It doesn't do anything. It makes it worse. And some sort of them people are messed up people and they obviously want to get you hooked on it. And that's all my words and all my explanation. What's the difference on prescribed and what is illegal? Legal is not good. The word legal is not good. The word prescribed is good. The word legal is negative. The word prescribed is positive. So I will not explain again, as I already explained it. And one another thing, I only help people if they have prescribed cannabis. I only can help people with that. I don't do any legal activity, and this is a disclaimer. If any legal drugs discussion mentioned, I will not give you further advice. I will give you lectures instead. But prescribed is different. I can answer such as prescribed. Prescribed is a positive word. Same for prescribed tablets when you have an illness or disease or cancer such as from my NHS. But the way I see it, legal drugs and prescribed is from both man-made, but one of them is from professionals, so they know what they are doing. They know how to affect people, how people going to react on it. They know how to help people. That's professionals. Prescribed is professionals. And drug dealers may think they are professionals, but they are not. They're making things worse. Legal drugs is man-made, but one thing I'll say is prescribed cannabis is come from professionals which help people, and legal cannabis, which are legal activity from a organised gang, which is negative, which is bad. So that can insurance people, what's a both difference now? Because I know the difference now. One of drugs is positive, now prescribed, always positive to our people, and now from professionals, which they know what they are doing, they can help people because they know what they are doing. That's called professionals. And legal drugs is bad, organised gang, which is a legal and criminal offence, criminal activity, which are both man-made, both different, both have different effects. Both one have severe effect, that is cannabis, and prescribed cannabis, which doesn't have effect, which prevents you. But thing is why professionals make such thing up, prescribed cannabis, only from USA, it's because they want to make people better and not worse, or in hospital. And these drug dealers, they were opposite, make people worse. Now why it's called hooked? That's one of the description, hooked on, and it's a drug addict. Because they want to make people keep buying in it of them, but it's a negative word. It's illegal. It's a criminal offence, and there can be criminal charges. But both of words are from man-made, but one of them are from an organised gang, which are so bad drug, which doesn't do anything, make your mental health worse. And one a drug, prescribed cannabis, come from professionals which they know what they are doing. You see some of these organised gang copy these professionals because they are jealous, they are hating, they are insecure, and they want to make people want to be hooked on drugs. That's why it's so addicting, because they want to make money. So I hope this is helpful advice, guys, and this helpful information. Both different drugs, both man-made, both have a different effects. One of them have effects as organised gang drug, and which are from professional drug, doesn't do any effect, which prevents you from having illnesses, such as cancer. But that subject, which is prescribed cannabis, only from USA. It's not allowed over here. And let me tell you something. You know why they made it illegal for Scotland? Because they want to make people pleased, but they also will be targeting drug dealers, because that's what the police want, that's what we want. And now sort of drug dealers are doing the opposite for this planet. Drugs like that, which are organised gang, doesn't really help our planet. It doesn't make eco-friendly. It will make your bills rise and make you have growing concerns. So that's a result from professionals, because professionals do not allow such as cannabis farm. That's the most target in them, because they know it's an organised gang, and they know it's bad and worse from this planet, and they don't want to make people grow it. It's bad. USA is a different, because we got different laws in the UK than USA. USA for drinking you have to be 21, over you have to be 18, and Red Bull you have to be 16. But trust me, people, I know all my words, I know all my laws, I know all my rules. Nothing can get past me. I can describe myself intelligent, because prescribed is different than organised gang drug. Organised gang drug do effects because your body don't like it, and it's not really a human life, nature, eco-friendly things. And also, one another thing why people say why cannabis is so strong, because then put chemicals in it and then put things in it. So now making out is so good, it's so addictive, it's so hooked. So when you smell it and when it's so strong, it not got any positive effects that prescribed cannabis can do. Prescribed cannabis and legal cannabis is different. GTA will explain it what's a different. If you play GTA, then that game, I know it's a crime game. I know some people use that in-game crime to commit real-life game crime. But the way I see it, if you play GTA 5, GTA Online, they will make you know the difference. What's illegal drugs? Legal drugs is an organized business, but it comes from bad business. It's not an actual business. It's just where people want to make money out of it, not got any benefits to it. And then prescribed cannabis, which come from a pharmacy, which is positive. It's not opposite for eco-friendly. It's not eco-friendly, it's just neutral. Prescribed cannabis is neutral, and it doesn't help our planet or help our planet. It's just neutral, and legal cannabis is the opposite for eco-friendly, which is so bad for our planet. But people want you to believe legal cannabis can cure cancer. It's not. And I'm telling you a lie. A white lie. So, when you smoke it, they want you to be addict. They want you to be hooked on it. So, it plays with your mental health. It gives you sudden thoughts, which is so bad drug, which professionals know what they are doing, because they've been there for, they face the problems, they know how things work. You can't trust professionals, or you can't trust organized gang. All you can trust is the professionals like NHS, because they know what they are doing. For instance, if you have an heart attack or something, they will then do their very best to help you to survive. NHS is something positive. You can't really trust organised gang, because organised gang can be any people. can lead to misinformation. While professionals, you can trust them. You can't have them to be your friends because they're not always there to help you, but they will be there to protect, to reserve if you're facing crimes. Not only for victims, the police don't really like suspects. They do anything to prosecute a suspect. It's their result. They only get money. They only get money because they don't like a suspect. And they do everything they can to prosecute via CPS on a suspect. They only engage with victims, not suspects. It's not their job. They are not a social worker. Their job is for victims, not for suspects. Okay, guys. Thank you for watching me. I need to get it out of my chest and I have to explain it to everybody. What's the difference on prescribed and what's the difference on legal? Legal, again, is from a man-made, both man-made. Legal is come from an organised gang which are bad for this planet and bad for people's health, and prescribed is come from professional people, which means they know what they are doing, which sometimes these organised gang can impersonate professionals like a police because they are jealous, they want information, they want to gather information. It's a little bit impersonating, but I don't really like a subject personating. And that's all. I explained everything. I explained my thoughts on prescribed, which means come from professionals, but they know what they are doing. They only here to help people at the end of the day. It's life and death situation. An organised gang, they tell you lies. It's illegal, it's bad, it's negative, it's made of words. They tell you full of lies. Why it's illegal? It's come from a cannabis farm, and cannabis farm is bad. It's very bad. It's similar to organised gang. An organised gang is very serious offence. Well, an opposite for that is professionals, but they know what they are doing at the end of the day because they have seen people, they have seen worse people, worse kinds. You can rely on them, but not all the time. You can only rely on them like a police if you're in trouble, if you're in instant danger. Now reserve and protect. You can rely on ambulance for life and death. You can rely on fire brigade if there's a actual fire, because a fire department there to help people not to get burned, seriously burned, or there to not, is also there not to make a fire worse, like your house on fire. That's why they are there for. And that's the reasons why law enforcement are law enforcement, and what organizations are. Organized group are just bad people, but they are personating, and that's, to me, that is very bad. Personating involved copying, and that's, to me, that is bad, that is weird, they need help, and they cannot do this stuff. Organized groups can't personate a law enforcement. They cannot do that because they are not law enforcement at the end of the day. You can't rely on them if your life in danger. That's what law enforcement is. Law enforcement are people go to if they life and death. And organized groups are no. End of story. Okay, I hope I taught you guys more stuff about this, more education stuff. Some of you, from my judgment, some of you need education, but there's someone in my family, not my family, but my stepdad saying it, cannabis cure cancer is not. I haven't seen it. It must be a white lie. It's like a zodiac sign. Zodiac signs is a myth. Like that, cannabis, legal cannabis is a myth. If you put them two together, it's a fairy tale that doesn't tie to or give you personal effects. It just makes things worse. And that's how I see it in my eyes. Because professionals know what they are doing because it's their job, because they are told to by their supervisors, superintendents, sergeants, bosses, managers. They've been told to. They are not there. Law enforcement are not there to corrupt. They just want your life to make it easier. They don't want to make things worse. They want to make things simple, easy for you. If you're a victim, they won't make you to be calm because it's their job, because they've been told to. Okay, after today, guys, I will not explain what's the difference on medical marijuana and what is legal marijuana. That stuff is terminated because I've done all my explanatory in that, and I explained in fully depth information what's the difference. Both man-made, one are organised group gang, one is professionals. It means they know what they are doing. They are professionals because they've been told to. It's their job. An organised gang personate police and ambulance and NHS and things. But both different, same word, same first word, but both last word, but both different, not the same, but both got different effects. One of them got more effects, which is bad for your mental health, which doesn't help. And one of them not gonna affect, it means it prevents the problems you are facing. And that's all really. I've done all my explain, and I've got more depth details. And I've done all my examples. For examples, I have done a lot of talk. I have done a lot of talking and discussion about this. If you're a drug addict, my advice is to go to rehab, because legal drugs just mess with your head, mess with your mental status, which drug dealers and these people which are stranger danger people, they want to make you hook, they want to make you a drug addict, they want to make fun out of you for enjoyment and for a laugh. But don't do drugs, people. Drugs are for losers, and especially drug dealers are losers and are lone life. They've not got a real job. Drug dealers not got a real job. They've got a side job which is fake and fairy tale and myth job, but none are classed as a real job. Real job is from an organisation group, from any organisation groups which are any professional groups, and dealers are not real job. It's just a title. It's just a title of them. It's not a real job. It's a little bit called a side mission than an actual mission. Actual mission is where you get a real job, like within any professionals from any different organisation, but a side job is not it's not kind of a real job. It's not an actual job. So, if anyone in my family or if any discussion about any legal drugs, I cannot help you. All I can have advice is go to drug addicts, go to rehab. Sorry, misinformation, rehab. Go to rehab, now will help you to stay clean, and that's my only advice. But I don't touch any legal activity such as any crimes or any legal substance drugs. I only can help and advise any prescription tablets, medicine, or such as have problems, have illnesses, facing problems with regarding of health illnesses. I can help with that. I'll give my plenty advice on that. I cannot have plenty advice, and I will stop talking about any legal drugs because I can't really help with that. I can't really give people advice on that. only positive advice, nor negative advice. So, if anyone in my family discusses about this, then it will be terminated. Conversation will be terminated and will not be allowed, and I will not discuss this. And it's not for me, but I'm not a professional, but I can do my best to help, regardless of professionals, but I can't help with organised group gang or legal drugs. I can't help with that. I can help with many things, but now the next level I can't touch. Because I myself don't touch crimes, don't touch legal drugs or anything like that. I will not give you advice. I only will give you advice such as narcissism, such as emotional abuse, financial abuse, psychological abuse, harassment, stalking, or such as etc. Because I have my experience and I will explain if people need advice. But there's some things I will not give people advice. Now, twist words, because these words are made up, but some of these words are true, false, made up, and ongoing words, and complicated. So, some words are senses, which means terminated, and some words I can help with. But I hope this helped you people out. Realize, recognize, and understand and accept the truth. What's the difference? I have done all my studies. I have studied about it. I have learned from it experience. I have learned from it. I've been a long way. I have, people. You cannot always rely on me for advice, but the most things you can rely on me for advice. But again, I'm not always there to give you advice, always respond, because I will be busy, because I have to get on with my life. Like, we all humans, we all need to get on with our lives. So guys, I hope this live stream is helpful. I've done all my explanatory, that's been explained. I go to depth information, more depth information. I done all my examples. I have done all my talking for today. And now we do something different. Now it's laughing therapy. But first, laughing therapy again relieve pain and stress, which is do something positive to your mind than any drugs, regardless of prescribed and what is not. Laughing therapy helps you have a happy, calm mind, bit like mindfulness. But mindfulness let you unwind down and let your thoughts push aside and etc. Let you have a clear and a calm mind, especially if you're working with nature. Nature and mindfulness works well together. If you see it or didn't see it yet, most likely, I mostly will recommend it to you. Mindfulness nature or mindfulness be alone. It works both ways. And some people don't like a truth on prescribed cannabis and what is legal cannabis, because some of these drug dealers and drug lords which are overhearing, overlooking, etc., they don't like a truth, because a truth hurts. And truth came out because that is the truth, because that is facts, and that is life facts. Okay, guys, I'll keep fidgeting. We will do laughing therapy right now. All you need to do, you can follow me, follow my steps, but don't use your own steps. Your own steps may be false. You may make up words, but only professionals and me can do this to pass it on to you guys. Okay. Okay, that's laughing therapy. Firstly, we will do mindful. That is laughing therapy exercises. That's what you need to do if you want to be happy, have a clear mind, have positive mind, and all your thoughts cleared. But no one I don't like negative thoughts. Negative thoughts sometimes get to me, but I don't let it get to me. That's why I do things like this and be myself. And right now we do something different. I know this is 1 hour live stream. But we will do mindfulness now. I only do this because I've got pain. Okay. We do mindfulness now, guys. Okay. Okay. We will do some more tomorrow. I know this is a long stream, a very long stream, about 1 hour long. But can I repeat a sentence what I have previously said? Is that GTA Online, if you play GTA Online, you will know a difference what is prescribed cannabis and what is illegal. Legal is bad from our organised gang group, which is a man-made, which is negative and gives you negative effects. Prescribed, which is positive, no effects. It will cure things like cancer. If you've got illness, it only go to USA. You can't bring it over. It's from professionals, so they know what they are doing. It's come from a doctors. Only doctors can prescribe you with that. Only if you have the documentation, though, to prove that you have cancer. And that's all I have to say. Okay, guys. This is 1 hour long. Yeah, this is 1 hour long live stream. This live stream maybe go up 11 p.m. GMT time. So this probably will go up later tomorrow, as it's nearly 12 o'clock, not such yet. It's only 11 p.m. Pacific time, UK. So I'm really gonna end this live stream. There's so much talking today. Okay, guys.